I just wanted a bean and cheese burrito. Now, this is like, I think, an individually owned place, but it was set up a little bit of the, they have the stuff kind of pre-made, and then, they do the tortilla, and they ask, what you want in there. I just wanted a bean and cheese burrito, a large burrito. And I didn't want anything else. I didn't want salsa. I didn't want, the pico de gallo. I didn't want corn. I didn't want any meat or anything. Didn't want lettuce, no veggies, just beans and cheese. So they actually told me that I didn't have enough stuff in there. I needed to make it bigger.
The Doug Shapiro Show, SiriusXM 168.
Joining us on the phone, live from his hotel room, I imagine.
How's it going?
Judah Friedlander, how you doing, big guy?
Incredible. I'm in Toronto. Great city, great food, good-looking people, and healthcare. What a town!
I tell you, man. You got me at healthcare. Oh, God, that's hot.
It is. It's very sexy.
I know, man. What's going on? What's going on with your country? You guys don't... What's going on with your country, Judah? What's going on with your country, buddy?
Well, that's my thing about America is no matter how bad we're doing, we're still going to say we're number one. And that's like the theme generally of, my act recently. It's like, because not every country has this amazing overconfidence that America has, but it generally kind of always has that. So even if there's a problem, hey, we're gonna fix it, and we're still the best, So it'll never actually say, oh yeah, maybe we're not number one.
It's the biggest problem with your country. And as much as I like visiting your country, and I do like going there, I really do. Except for when I see the currency exchange rate, and I'm like, oh my God, maybe I should just stay home. But that's another story, and the dollar's doing a little better here in Canada. But Judah, the accountability on both sides is, I find that in your country where there's this great divide on whatever issue it is, people there's no accountability on any side, and I've been tweeting about this just today. There seems to be no compromise either. Why can't people just have a healthy conversation again and try and at least be accountable when they're wrong and find compromise when maybe there could be sort of some in between ground?
Well, here's one of my theories. With the mainstream parties, the Republican and the Democratic parties, you're saying both sides. I kind of view things a little differently, as they're not really two different sides that oppose each other. They are two different groups, but basically the Republicans are a strong opposition party to the Democrats, but the Democrats really are not a strong opposition party to the Republicans. And by that I mean, like, our Democratic Party is still to the right of Canada's progressive parties. So it's like a fake opposition almost. So I think that's one of the problems. So basically the Republican Party, the Democrat Party, I think in general is similar to what the Republican Party was, maybe in the 1950s. And the Republican Party today is so far to the right. It's like, how do you bargain with extreme right and then regular right, and both parties, what they really want is power. So.
Yeah, well said. I mean, even Hillary Clinton just a few, I think 15 years ago was like she didn't believe in gay marriage and stuff. So, there's I see what you're saying there. Do you get tired talking about this stuff, being a comedian? And for the record, I know I ask a question. I shouldn't follow it up with another one or a statement. I should just let you answer it. That's the proper form of interviewing people. But I've been meaning to tell you this for quite some time, Judah. It was you in our very same studio that we broadcast from today where you didn't show your beautiful face, and makes me angry because you're only around the corner. But you
I didn't even know that. They didn't give me an option.
Oh, I would have Ubered you. I would have Ubered you over. I would have picked you up for fuck's sake. But you once were on my show. We had a long discussion with a lawyer friend of mine and a political guy, Ari Goldkind, and you then said you didn't even really get into this stuff, and I think we helped spearhead that for you. So I want some royalties of your acts now.
Okay, whatever you need.
I need a lot. I have a kid. I can't afford it.
But they didn't. They actually told me you're calling in. I'm like, okay. They didn't give me. I figured you were all the way across town or something, and they couldn't do it or something. So I don't even know. But
no.
Anyways, we're doing it.
So, do you get tired talking about politics? So, like, is it?
It can be. Yes. I mean, sometimes I might do a show that's literally just all crowd work. Because I think everyone needs a break from it. It can be exhausting. So it depends what mood I'm in. Sometimes, often I'm up for it. Sometimes I'm like, you know what, I need a little break, and I'll just do other material that's not, political. It's just escapism, really. Or I'll just do, all crowd work or a mix. So that does happen. Sure.
I love when you do that. By the way, I think last time I saw you was at the Stand in New York, and you just fucking ripped everyone.
Yeah. And I do it in a kind of a way that's, I'm not just like, hey, you suck. I do it in a way where I'm sort of complimenting and ripping them at the same time, as well as making fun of me.
Well, that's the whole thing. You're self-deprecating. I mean, you're so exaggerating of a character that it makes it so lovable. It's great. Yeah. It's so fun.
Yeah. We got a lot of crazy shit going on in our country. I actually thought Trump would win. I know, and I think, and the fact that he won, is kind of symbolic of how many people are in the country. Because I think most of the people who voted for Hillary really thought there was no way Donald Trump would win. And that goes back to what I was saying earlier about how America always thinks it's the greatest. And I'm talking about whether they're, on the right, whether they're Republican or Democrat. Both sides think, well, it's just that other side that's keeping us down. But we're still number one. I really think most Trump voters were hoping and praying he was going to win. But I really think a lot of, Hillary voters, they were hoping, they would hope Hillary would win, but I think they really thought, Trump's terrible. There can't be that many people voting for him. And, I thought Trump was going to win. So
I'm right with you. I called it on the show that he would win, and part of the reason is I spoke to a lot of people on the other side, trying to understand the other side, which I think is what you're saying. Hillary Clinton and her supporters didn't even want to make an effort to do. And I think that's sometimes the biggest problem, is not trying to understand who your opposition is. You would never go into a sporting event or Judah a big ping pong match without knowing what the strengths or weaknesses were. And they just only saw weakness. They didn't see any strengths. Right.
Well, there's that, and there's also, even in my act, I mean, I'm someone who's politically way to the left. I'm to the left of Bernie Sanders. But when I'm talking to people, whether it's on stage or off stage, I never reprimand people really, and I just tell people, and I'm not preachy in my act at all, and off stage I'm not either. I tell people what I think and how I feel about things, and then I let them, just see my point of view. I never try to force it on anybody, though. It's just like, well, here's what I think, and now you can take that, process it, and do whatever the fuck you want with it. Whether you're like, all right, well, that's stupid, or that's good, or, oh, I hadn't thought of that. But it's like, I don't. In general, I think progress happens better when people don't force their stuff. Say, like, this is how you must think. It can be good to say, hey, try to look at it this way, but not like, this is how you must do things. I'm not big on that.
I think the problem is you're too rational minded, where you don't need to force, like you're saying, messages down people's throats. But why I say you're rational minded is I think sometimes people just need that to make a decision. And I truly wish that more questions were asked to create those healthy conversations and find out what those answers are. But sadly, and it's been told to me as someone who really loves the middle ground of all of this, finding compromise, it's been told to me there's no place for the middle, and that's what scares me because I think there's going to be a war in America before there's a war against North Korea. I think you guys are going to have like another civil war or something.
Well, also, I think if there's a war with North Korea, we're going to start it. I mean, unfortunately, it's like, they've been kind of crazy for, over 50 years, and now all of a sudden, the last, 6-7 U.S. presidents, we never worried are we actually going to be going to a nuclear war with North Korea? We never fucking really worried about that. And now that's actually a legitimate concern, and, so it's crazy. It's crazy shit.
I think everyone always, because everyone always just ignored that shit, right? Like North Korea's always said, well, we have our hand on the nuke. We're going to do it. And people just, that's like a crazy kid with his science fair experiment, right? But it took Trump to be in there and be like, no, you aren't, fuck you. And then now he's going to press the button first. And then everybody else is going to jump in.
Yeah, it's so stupid and so avoidable. I think the reason, that North Korea probably wants it for the most part is if a country has nukes, it's very hard for America to do anything against them.
Yeah.
And if a country has no nukes, then the U.S. can basically go there and do whatever the hell it wants. It can overthrow them. It can do whatever. So I actually think it's probably. I'm not saying the North Korean guy, isn't a bad guy and a psychopath. I think he is, but I also think, a lot of his talk is likely bravado and not. He's actually going to. I mean, the U.S. media they act like that North Korea's. He's able to nuke anyone on the planet. This guy. It's like no, But if he's got nukes, then it's hard to attack because then if you attack them, so much destruction happens not just there but everywhere. So it's. But, who knows? I don't know what's going to go on.
I mention on this program often, obviously in a joking manner, but that it's actually Vince McMahon's latest wrestling plot. And it's just those two, and they're going to push the buttons on Monday Night Raw. Like, that's when they're going to do it. Because no one's going to push any fucking buttons. I'm honestly not scared of that.
Yeah, I don't know. In the U.S. recently, they've been talking about, how they have these tactical nuclear weapons now. So you can actually use it on a small scale. And I'm like, this does not sound good to rebrand it as these these little cute nukes, that won't cause any problems,
For 6+,
We've seen that before with, throughout so many of the wars that the U.S. has been in, where they have this new weapon that's just going to solve everything, and it never fucking does, and it just creates more disasters,
Do you are you following sort of the whole kneeling controversy in football? Is that something you're following too?
Sure, I follow everything. Yeah, I think what Kaepernick did is totally fine. But the thing is, what people don't realize is people try to make it isolated that this is just a football thing, and you should be able to. Whatever side you're on, I think both sides make this mistake where they say, like people on, the right will say it's disrespectful to the flag, don't do it during the game, and people who support Kaepernick will say, hey, it's a peaceful protest, all that. But what the larger picture people are missing out on, and this isn't just exclusive to football, at any job you're at, and I think Colin Quinn may do a bit, not exactly about this, but about how most jobs are not democracies. Most jobs are dictatorships. Mm-hmm. When you're at a job, most people, no matter what your job is, you really don't have any rights. You have to do what the boss or the corporation says, and if you do anything that hinders that, you're out of there.
But you got to bite your tongue so fucking much. Right. It's so annoying. Even in a job like this where we're told not to.
Well, exactly. So what I'm saying is, in addition to that discussion going on, there needs to be another general, broader discussion about just as a human being, as an employee, what really are your rights? Because if you speak out against anything, doesn't even have to be political. You could say, talk about whatever, your boss could come down on you hard for that, and then you're out of a fucking job.
And it's all fucking egos. That's the sad thing.
Yeah.
It's all based on ego, It's like, oh, God forbid you disagree with what I think or bring up something different at a meeting that might alter, again, that process. Well, because it insults your ego? Maybe there's just actually a benefit here, whether you're young or older, male, female, black, white. Who cares? Maybe you have a different opinion that could actually work.
But no discussion. Just have the two pissing contests, the two sides, like everything else going on right now. Yeah.
And I also think it's, just the corporate power. It's like, and it comes down to capitalism often.
I quit. I'm leaving. I actually quit. I'm leaving. I'm out. No.
You know what I mean?
The dirty word.
Seriously, where they, if they have a game plan of how they're going to make money, if there's anything that they think might disrupt that, so whether it's taking a knee, whether it's saying, I hate pizza, fuck pizza, like, hey, we have listeners who like pizza, let's not rip on pizza, whatever, take whatever, dumb angle you want to take, but they can be very, just extra cautious about things.
Yeah.
But it would be cool if we lived in a society where you did it, where that was all thrown out the window, and you can just be like, yeah, let anyone say what their opinion is, but still get the fucking work done. You know what I mean?
I know exactly what you mean. What's sort of super sad is that we kind of do live in that society once 6 o'clock comes around, or once, you're at home on your dinner tables or just with your buddies having a couple of drinks. That's.
But if you're a kid and you're living with your parents, you still don't have that shit. You know what I'm saying? It all depends. As an adult grown man, you have that, or a grown woman, you have that.
Yeah.
But if you're a 15-year-old kid, you can't just say whatever you want at that dinner table or whatever.
But I will tell you, Judah, Judah Friedlander joined us. My kid's only 2. And we're already raising him, honest to God, to he doesn't know yet, but my whole theory, and I've told my wife this, is that kid is going to say whatever the fuck he wants at our dinner table.
Awesome.
And we are not changing our tone, and we are having these honest conversations, and he will see the world for the way it is because I understand the way it is. And he better go and make a lot of money because it's the only way he stands a chance to the last minute.
Right, no, but that's I think what you said there is great, is that, and that's the other thing. It's like, whether I agree with people or don't or disagree with people, or whether it's a mild thing or something I'm hugely passionate about, I think it's always good to discuss the shit. So the whole Kaepernick thing, I think whether you agree with him or you don't agree with him, it's brought up a discussion that's good to have. But one of the questions is, will people have the right discussions? Instead of just reframing it for whatever angle you want, but like have the real discussions, because that's something that always goes on. Like I remember 30 Rock, when I did 30 Rock, the building we filmed in was such a fucking shithole. It's like I was coughing the whole time there, and then we had about 3 months off for the summer. After about 2 months off, my cough would go away. As soon as we went back to work, my fucking cough comes back. And this happened with a lot of people there. Does anybody fucking speak up about it? No, because the guys who own the building are, first of all, there's not that many places to film. And but people in general are very afraid to speak up to any kind of authority, to cause any kind of a ruckus, whether it's right or wrong. And you would think with a big show like 30 Rock and big stars on it, they would be like, hey, this building should be fucking condemned. Why don't we put some pressure for this building to fucking clean up instead of having, all kinds of chemicals and shit in there that have been there for 20 years and they never clean it up because they're too fucking cheap and they'd rather just make more money. Does anyone ever bring that up? No way. And if you do bring it up, I remember sometimes the gels, over the lights, they put these different colored gels, and they would often burn, because they get too close to the hot bulb. And it'd be fucking, just this smokiness in the place. And I have asthma, so I would bring it up. And the people on the production would be like, yeah, no, I don't. What do you mean? Really? It smells? Oh, I can't smell anything, And then some low, like the film and TV business is very, there's no democracy. It's like a monarchy,
Yeah.
A lot of hierarchy, you know.
You're just lucky you got the part, pal.
The lowest is the lowest is the production assistant PAs, and the highest is, you know, whoever's the producers, and then above them are the networks, you know. So, and then above them is, you know, Viacom or Comcast or GE, whatever it is. So it's like no one fucking speaks up for anybody, no matter what the issue is. So the Kaepernick thing, in addition to you know him speaking up for racial injustices, just in general, speaking up about anything. You know, let's say the fucking coffee machine is fucking moldy at your office, and nobody's going to say anything, and you want to like pitch in. If you mention that to your boss will be like, well, fuck this guy, he's a troublemaker. Let's get him out of here. Let's bring someone else in. So I look at it not just on all the main basic issues, but also on a bigger thing. You know, people are in general are afraid. You know, when you're at work and you got a job, you people don't want to fuck with that job, with possibly fucking losing that job. You know.
Yeah, it's scary. Going back to the building, though.
You deal with this shit all the time in radio, I'm sure. With what you can say.
Horrible coffee maker here. Horrible. Yeah.
That's what I've heard. That's actually why I didn't come in the studio today.
Yeah.
Jude, I'm just surprised with that old building you worked in for 30 Rock, though. You just didn't give one of your roundhouse kicks and knocked it right down. I just can't believe you didn't do that.
I'm going back to New York on Thursday. I think I'm going to fucking do that.
Shows a lot of patience with your super strength, though. I don't know how you've kept that at bay your whole life. It's amazing.
You know, it's part of my just intestinal fortitude that's just so strong.
So you're pumped to be in Toronto, Judah. You got a couple of shows going on.
I love it here, man. I had some good tacos yesterday. I went to Tacos 101 in downtown. Fucking delicious.
Nice.
And then I had the taco. So as I'm walking back to the hotel, I walk across a burrito place. I think it's Burrito Boys. I'm like, you know what?
Oh, yeah.
You know what? I really should test out the burrito scene in Toronto, too, even though I just had a full meal, in order to just, you know, do the right thing so that when someone asks me, how's the Mexican food in Toronto, I can give them a taco recommendation and a burrito recommendation. Dude, the people at the burrito place were so nice.
Yeah, they're good.
I just wanted a bean and cheese burrito. Now, this is like, I think, an individually owned place, but it was set up a little bit of the, you know, they have the stuff kind of pre-made, and then, you know, they do the tortilla, and they ask, you know, what you want in there. I just wanted a bean and cheese burrito, a large burrito. And I didn't want anything else. I didn't want salsa. I didn't want, the pico de gallo. I didn't want corn. I didn't want any meat or anything. Didn't want lettuce, no veggies, just beans and cheese. So they actually told me that I didn't have enough stuff in there. I needed to make it bigger. So the woman who was making the burrito, she actually goes to her boss and she goes, he's not ordering enough. It's like, and then the boss took the burrito and he put on a scale and he weighed it, and it's not enough. And then she goes, we need to put more stuff in here. I'm like, well, I don't want more stuff. And she's like, well, I can add more beans. I'm like, great. And then she put more cheese in there too. So, and then she told me, for the amount of beans you ordered initially, you should have ordered a medium or a small, not a large. I'm like, okay. But they basically made my burrito twice the size that I wanted it. And it was just, I don't know, I can't see that fucking happening in America, is all I'm saying.
Hey, we take care of people, you know, and now, true to form, Judah Friedlander, you can give a true review on our Mexican food. So what would you give it? What would you give it out of 5 stars?
Okay. It's very serious.
I can tell.
Tacos 101 was very good. I have no complaints. I'm going to go ahead and give it. Now, take this in mind. I lived in San Diego when I was a little kid, so that's 15 minutes from Mexico. The fucking Mexican food's out of control good. But I'm going to give this place, Tacos 101, 4.5 out of 5 stars.
All right. That's impressive.
Now, I think it's better. It's better or as good as any place in New York.
Oh. I got to go. I've never even been.
Yeah. When I got picked up at the airport, the 2 women who were working for Just for Laughs are recent immigrants to Canada from Mexico. They lived here 5 years, and they told me to go there. So I was like, okay, I'm going to do this, and it was very, very good. Burrito Boys, I'm going to give them Now, I only had their beans and cheese.
Sure.
It was good. And I'm going to give them 4. I'm going to give them 4.25 stars. It was very good. I don't want to spoil them, though. And they get that extra quarter because they just basically, they gave me fucking a lot more food than, I've never seen people complain to me that I wasn't putting enough food into the burrito.
Yeah, for the weight alone. For the pure, yes. It
was amazing.
That's good.
So both very good. So like I said, it's a little harder for me to judge Burrito Boys because I only had their beans and cheese. But the tacos were very good at Tacos 101.
At Judah World Champ, this dude's approaching 500,000 followers. He's at the Royal Theatre tonight. You're also there tomorrow at 11 o'clock, presented by SiriusXM.
Yeah, I'm actually banned from performing before 10 p.m. in Toronto. I don't know if it's a Trudeau thing. I don't know what's going on. But that's the way it is. Maybe it's a Prince Harry thing. He's in town. Maybe he's jealous that I'm not in England. And also, I got a stand-up special coming out. So.
Yeah, America's the greatest country in the United States, right?
Yep, that's what I've been saying for years. We're number one. Yeah, Halloween is when it debuts on Netflix. I have no idea if that's a good day to have something debut on Netflix or the shittiest day to have something debut on Netflix. But that's what's happening. Yeah.
Maybe for a promotion, you should get out some like Judah Friedlander sort of masks or beards or mustaches or long hair and hats so people can wear them and dress up as you and watch it.
Great fucking idea, Tom.
I do what I can. You've allowed me in your camp for many years now, so I just try and be with the best and be at their level, sir.
Look, winners know winners. Okay, that's how shit works.
How long are you leaving Wednesday? Is that the deal? Are you leaving
Thursday? Going back Thursday.
You're going back. Yeah. Well, listen, let's try and have a nothing but bean and a cheese burrito or something. I'd love to reach out while you're in town. I'll look for my DM, yeah. And you're an absolute beauty, Judah. I'm such a fan of yours. You know that. And
much love.
And I can't wait for your Netflix special. That's a cool thing. That's a big deal for the comics, I know. So congrats on that.
Thanks so much, buddy.
Okay. Good luck with the shows tonight. You don't need luck, but have fun with the shows tonight at the Royal Theatre.
I will. It's a great place. It's a cool place.
Yeah, it is
like
cool.
Yeah, it's nice.
Like historic movie theater. It's really cool. So
beauty. In town for JFL 42. Okay, man. Enjoy. Cheers. Judah Friedlander.
The Todd Shapiro Show.
Hey, thanks for watching that video. You can subscribe over there, or you can watch another video over here. And I think this is the Daniel Bryan yes chant. So what the hell? Yes, Todd Shapiro Show. Daniel Bryan can't wrestle anymore. It's a very sad story.